Join me as I challenge myself to start my day with peace by reflecting on God's promises and sharing my favorite encouraging Bible verses. Starting your day with peace is crucial in today's chaotic world. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle, but taking a few moments to ground yourself in God's promises can make all the difference. When we begin our day with peace, we're better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Many of us can relate to feeling overwhelmed by the demands of daily life. We've got work, school, family, and social responsibilities, not to mention our own personal goals and aspirations. And on top of it all, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us we're not good enough, we're not doing enough, and we're not enough, period. It's no wonder we feel stressed, anxious, and uncertain about the future. Add to that the constant noise of social media where everyone's highlight reel is on full display, and it's easy to feel like we're just not measuring up. We start to compare our behind-the-scenes moments to everyone else's curated perfection, and before we know it, we're drowning in feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. And we've all been there. Lying awake at night, our minds racing with worries about the future, regrets about the past, and fears about the present. We wonder if we're good enough, if we're doing enough, and if we're even on the right path. And in those moments, it's hard to find peace. But here's the thing, peace isn't found in our circumstances, it's found in Christ. And that's what I want to focus on today, the promises of God that bring us peace no matter what we're facing. One of my favorite Bible verses is Isaiah 26, verse 3, which says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." This verse is a powerful reminder that our peace isn't dependent on our circumstances, but on our trust in God. When we focus on Him, when we choose to trust in His goodness and sovereignty, we can experience a deep and abiding peace that transcends our understanding. Another verse that gives me hope is Philippians 4, verse 7, which says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This verse reminds us that God's peace is not just a feeling, but a guardian that watches over our hearts and minds. It's a peace that's available to us no matter what we're facing. John 14, verse 27 is another favorite of mine, which says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." In this verse, Jesus is reminding us that His peace is not like the world's peace, which is fleeting and conditional. His peace is a gift, one that He gives to us freely, and one that we can rely on no matter what. I remember a time in my life when I was going through a particularly tough season. I was feeling lost, alone, and uncertain about the future. But in the midst of all that chaos, I stumbled upon Psalm 91, verse 4, which says, "He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart." This verse was a game changer for me because it reminded me that God was with me, even when I felt like He was far away. It reminded me that He was my shield, my refuge, and my peace. As we reflect on these powerful Bible verses, I hope you're reminded that peace is attainable no matter what you're facing. It's not based on your circumstances, but on your trust in God. And when you choose to focus on Him, you can experience a peace that surpasses all understanding. So let's recap the key Bible verses we've shared today. We've looked at Isaiah 26, verse 3, Philippians 4, verse 7, John 14, verse 27, and Psalm 91, verse 4. These verses remind us that God's peace is available to us no matter what we're facing. It's a peace that's not dependent on our circumstances, but on our trust in Him. And thanks for joining me on this journey through God's promises of peace. If you have a favorite Bible verse or a testimony of how God's peace has impacted your life, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more uplifting content and Christian encouragement.